Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another week of the World Sevens series. This week, we have transitioned over to Sydney, Hamilton last week. This week, we head down under to Australia, in which will be a very awesome competition. It is going to be over 3 days rather than the two like we saw in Hamilton. The first matchup, we did get to see it last week, except that's the wrong scoreboard. That's USA versus Fiji. It's actually Great Britain versus Fiji that will be coming up here. Hang on. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. Great start to the stream, of course. Hang on. We'll switch that. And we will stick the right scoreboard up on the screen as well. So that we are halfway. There we go. Now we're all sorted. A good evening. Says Nomba. Welcome in. G'day, Hamish. How's it? I'm doing very well. Thank you, David. Excited for another few games of sevens, which should be very, very entertaining. You're the best YouTuber, says Tracy. Although I just had a bit of a mishap, but I do appreciate that a lot, Tracy. Hugely appreciated. Will be Craig Channon in charge of this one for the first match of the women's side. The Sydney Sevens looking through the Great British lineup. It will be Amy Wilson-Hardy, Heather Cow, also Shakels, Urin, Meg Jones, Maud, and also Crompton. Then for the Fijians, Nagasau, Boleki, Nabora, Riwai, Naimasi, Kavuru, and also Ripi Alunasau, one of the star players who will always be right in the hunt for the Fijians. And Bolivanaka Kiwi Lad says, Abe, welcome. Or Abe? It will be Abe, won't it? Welcome in, mate. I hope you are doing very well. There's some sad news, says Novmum. That doesn't sound too flash, Novmum. Do let me know. And it is going to be Great Britain who do receive this ball off the get-go. They get themselves the first touch of the Sydney Sevens. Now, rush defence from Fiji already means that we might see a couple little handling errors, and already Meg Jones has to boot it downfield. Although I believe she's going to almost win that foot race. She has. Passes the ball back up to her winger, Crompton, and now starts to drive forward. Very nicely done by Great Britain to hang on to the ball early up against this Flying Fijiana women's side. Now Meg Jones ball on the outside, going to be finding her other winger in this matchup, Jade Shekels. In fact, that was here. The cow penalty goes the way of the Fijians. When is your next Rugby Challenge 4 game? Ooh, Rugby Challenge 4's one of those interesting ones because we might do some around the Six Nations. We might also do some around Super Rugby. It's just, it just depends on the kind of day, I guess. And go Sydney Sevens and A. Hamish, says Kurt. I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, says Novam. I'm sorry to hear that. Novam, hopefully you have caught it relatively early. Fingers crossed there, and everything will be all right in that regard. But yeah, sorry to hear that. Now down the wing, it's going to be Fiji with the ball. Nagasau passing it back infield. Fiji with a Lunisau 40 meters out from the line here. Another step. Kavuru trying to go through, but she is going to be wrestled down by Meg Jones, who falls the wrong way, almost ends up giving away the penalty advantage. But Fiji now once again in the middle of the field, looking for the offload up. They have been able to find it nicely. Another one. Nagasau picks it up off the ground. Looking a bit scrappy from both sides early on. Maybe a bit of pre-match nerves would have been kicking in there. So now they're just slowly trying to build back into it. And now another step. It will be Naimasi trying to go through. Nice step on the outside here. The cow takes her down now. Will be Kavuru again. It's a long phase. I don't think we've had too many stoppages other than that one penalty for the Fijians. Everything else has just been all-out play throughout the first 2 minutes of this contest. Now passes on the outside. Nagasau inside ball. Now it's going to be hard to stop the Fijians from here. The offload goes up, but it's loose. And it will be picked up by Great Britain. Fiji had a golden opportunity there. It was a brilliant run by Nabura. Penalty goes the way of Great Britain. And have you ever been to a Rugby All Blacks game? I haven't, believe it or not. Never been to an All Blacks game. Never even been, I don't believe, to a Super Rugby game. Or maybe one when I was a lot younger. And go Fijiana, says Viniana there. G'day as well, says Brandon. Welcome in. And also, Hamish, is this normal for Kiwi Lads for you to take slight breaks in between videos? Says Coding. Is this the normal for Kiwi Lads for you to take slight breaks in between videos? Are you talking about not doing a live stream during the week, Coding? Or as in for the sevens? We have got little breaks in between the sevens, like 30 minutes or so, depending on who else are playing. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, or you're meaning that because I'm working during the week, I haven't done as many videos as I normally would. Maybe. Firing shots, perhaps. But now, Great Britain going to be hanging on to that one. 40 meters out from their own line now. Nice step again. Emma Urin Taken down. No one's scoring just yet in this contest. It looks like there's some sort of injury already for Meg Jones. That's the last thing that Great Britain want this early on in the contest. Getting back up to her feet there was Shekels, so that will be the penalty to Fijiana. From New Zealand or just living there, says Tracy. I am from New Zealand, living in New Zealand as well. So ticking both of those boxes. It was a bit of a shock. I have to have an MRI and CT scan, and then looking at chemo and surgery, says Novmum. So yeah, hopefully it all goes smoothly for you, Novmum. We're wishing you the best. And yeah, hopefully everything can get sorted out for you there. You took some breaks in between live streams, says Coding. Wait, so I feel like I might have tricked myself into. So took some breaks in between the sevens, or took some breaks in between like during the week. I feel like I have to try and like specify more. Who's Captain GB? Please, Amish. She's a looker. So I believe the captain for this match is Meg Jones, but the normal captain is Abby Brown, and Abby Brown is one of George's favourite sevens players. In fact, it's one of the only sevens players he knows. And I think it's for the same reason you just said. And Bullamate says, Ratu, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. But we see there Meg Jones, might have dislocated the elbow there, unfortunately, for Meg Jones. So they are just having an injury stoppage at the moment. But we are currently 3 minutes through this match, and it is still 0-0 between these two sides. 30 degrees in Christchurch, says Jack. And how hot is it in Timaru today? We're a little bit south of Timaru, but we're sitting currently 16 degrees, which isn't too bad. And I can take you to a rugby game. Says Tracy there. And also, I can take you to a rugby game if you want, says Tracy. I mean, I'll probably end up going at some stage to a game. I just got to work out what game I want to go to. And Fiji play France at 9:15 p.m, says Brandon. I should also mention at 9:15 p.m, there's a BBL eliminator matchup that has taken place between the Sydney Thunder and the Brisbane Heat. And I believe we're going to be going and doing a BBL live stream, which will be something we haven't done in a little while. And I believe George might be joining us. Well, that one. Has the rain arrived? Yeah, it is raining a little bit here at the moment. All Blacks all the way, says Tracy. And there as well. But now it will be the scrum feed for Great Britain. Slower start to this match than both sides may have anticipated, but it looks like they're relatively even in that regard. Now going off to the left-hand side. Picked up. Emma Uren puts it down. Knock on. And now Fijiana will have the ball again. Got thumbnail ready, says Brandon. And also sunny hot in Chicha, says Jack. Yeah, I think tomorrow it's supposed to be about 25 or 29 or something here. So that's going to be a hot day to be playing cricket in. And Abby Brown, dang, says David. And also, hi, when does New Zealand start? New Zealand's first match for the women's is going to be at 3:06 p.m. First match for the men is at about 5:15, somewhere around there, give or take a few minutes. Now, nice work, running hard. Huru goes on the outside, breaking the tackle. Anna Marinai Masi, she will score the first try of the match. Someone needs to put some water on this Sydney field. It's looking very dry at the moment, but it's going to be the first try of the match. And Fijiana get themselves into the lead. And also, yes, BBL live stream on busy schedule for me in between weekends, says Coding. So yeah, pretty much it's just been that we haven't done a huge amount of the BBL, so that's the only thing really that's been on during the week at a decent hour. And to a certain extent, like, there's been just no rugby. You know, like, Monday morning's probably the last rugby game that you're going to see per weekend. And then Friday, like, this is the earliest Friday time that you're going to see any rugby. I believe, like, Super Rugby, you'll be starting up at about 7:05, but it's just been a lack of things on during the week. And also the fact that from doing YouTube so much, how do I say it in a good way? I've run out of money, so I have to work during the week so that I can keep doing these live streams. Best way of putting it. So yeah, I built a fence on about Wednesday. That was quite fun. Now, it is going to be a nice step from Wilson Hardy getting going now. 45 seconds left in the first half. Fiji up by 5, but they did miss the conversion. Going to be a mistake again. Emma Uren puts it forward. 50 metres out from the line now. Another pass from the Fijians. And I believe there was actually Talay Wilson who's already out on the field for Fiji. So maybe trying to rotate their stocks early on, make sure that everyone is staying fresh, the further through the comp that we go. Another offload. I should mention that the women, they have 2 games today, whereas the men only have the one for the first day in Sydney. Passed across again. Nice work from Fijiana. Inside ball. Looking to step. Now, Alunisau finds another offload. Kavuru. Got this one. Goes across to the left. They've got numbers on the outside here, Fiji, if they want them, but I don't believe they're going to need them because once again, Anna Marie, I must see, has she got the pace? She's going to get caught by Cal. Being able to shut her down. Tries to put in the field. She's close to the touchline. Tries to offload it back in. I believe that ball was out and it is going to be half time. Now sitting 5-0 at half time. And also we've got there, how old were you when you fell in love with rugby? Says Tracy. I mean, I probably, when I was a lot younger, definitely when I was playing it, but then I went through a patch where I was probably more cricket than rugby, whereas maybe about 3 years ago, I went back into the rugby side of things. Been so hyped about the Drew that I've forgotten about the Seven series this semi. So that is true. Drew are actually playing a warm-up game up against the Melbourne Rebels at some stage soon. Sadly not being shown here in New Zealand, but it'll be a very nice game. Now, I lost some money from YouTube too, says Brandon, and will you stream the BBL tonight? I believe that is going to be the plan, and I believe we might even have George. I thought from YouTube ads you earn well. No. Despite common belief, and maybe from what bigger YouTubers do say, I have to work during the week. The best way of putting it. And just busy weekend. Next is quiet, says Brandon. And I was like, how old were you? Oh, no, I read that one, didn't I? And I was at present temp here, 22 degrees, says Kevin. Did you ever play a rugby game before? I did. I used to play when I was about 9 and 10, somewhere around there. So I used to play out on the wing. Unfortunately, we had a very selfish first five and a halfback who would never pass the ball out wide. And because one of their dads was the coach, he would love the fact that they always held on to the ball. So our team would lose games because they wouldn't get rid of the ball and then lose it. But yeah, I spent the whole season out on the wing and touched the ball, I think, 2 times. So I was like, nah, could be spending my Saturdays doing something else productive. So I think I actually transitioned over and became a football goalkeeper. Because that way I still got to dive and half by hurt myself in the process, but I at least got to touch the ball a few times. So that was the plan, really, as a kid. I just showing New Zealand versus Papua New Guinea, 55 minutes until that game will be starting. That will be the next one that we are doing on the channel. We've got 5 Sevens live streams today, and then, like I mentioned, the BBL a little bit later on tonight. I'm hoping to do that one alongside George, who doesn't watch a lot of cricket, so it could be an interesting one. It's kicked off high. Offloaded back on the inside. Fiji hanging onto this ball beautifully. At the moment, it will be Wilson. Emma Uren makes the tackle on her. Now back across Fiji with Riwai. Going to the right-hand side. The thing is, Fiji know that they have got the talent to beat Great Britain, but it's just making little mistakes could cost them. And luckily for them, until that point when they just knocked the ball out, I was going to say luckily that ball hasn't gone into touch, but I do see that Jasmine Joyce is on the field. She is a speedster from Wales. If she gets space down the wing, she's scoring a try. And I can almost guarantee that. Hay fever is a great thing to have. And give me fewer. Can you, Hamish, give me fever? Can give little updates to the BBL tonight, says Brandon. So yeah, if we are doing that live stream, it will be starting at about 9:10 p.m. New Zealand time, about 5 minutes before kickoff. I think your scoreboard timer is broken, being a little fast. Yeah, I've seen that they think that we're 13 minutes through. That just shows how long that injury time stoppage was. But also that the scoreboard is slightly just making it up at the moment. But they have got the score correct at the moment. 5-0. Jasmine Joyce down the wing. Space opens up. She's almost still driving. Tackled her nicely. Just dragged down by Kavuru. Now back across for the Great British side. They're looking to get back into this. And with the equaliser, it's a play on, and it's going to be the try now. Will be Amy Wilson-Hardy, who manages to get it. Any more live cricket? The Waimea first 11, says David the Mod. Funny you mentioned that. We are actually playing tomorrow, and I will be playing in that game. It starts at about 12:15 New Zealand time. So it means that we will have to miss the afternoon session of the Sevens, but I believe the last live stream that we'll have before that will be Samoa versus USA. And then pretty much straight after that game, I have to rush down there and get ready to play some cricket. So that will be the plan. Film it once again. We might even have a different camera angle. which I don't want to spoil just in case it doesn't happen, but it might be something to do with you guys being able to see my bowling as well as my batting. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And cricket is on next weekend. See, is Brandon there? And what team did you play for? I was just playing for the local Waimeti probably under 10s, I think it was. Looks like another change being made. It will now be Jonas Bessie making her way out there. 4.5 minutes left in the second half, and we are sitting 5-5 between the two sides. There's still anyone's game. And to an extent, you love to see how close a first match can be, because it just kind of sets the tone for the competition. That's going to be a big knock on from Shekels there. And also, can you live stream the cricket? Oh, I'm not sure how the Wi-Fi is down there, but it's also more of the case of I don't know what people are going to say. But this week, I'm hoping to do a lot more, I guess, cinematic work than the last video. You know, like last one, it was just GoPro, and that was about it. A little bit of my mum's camera on the sideline. But depending on where I bat will depend on what I'm able to kind of add in as cinematic-wise. But since it's a local game, it's quite handy because it means that I'll be able to get some shots even maybe after or before the video goes up. Now off to Jasmine Joyce again, down the wing. Bessie's trying to catch her. Oh, she's been caught. Well done by the Fijian number 11. And was that your dad betting with you in that other game? He was a steady player, good sportsman. That was actually Muzzer. So Muzzer is, I'm trying to think of how I can describe it so that it makes sense. If you remember in the umpiring video, if you watched it, the guy who hit a 6, his dad. So we have got a couple father-son duos in our team, but yeah, that was Muzzer and Isaac. Those twos. Now, wide ball from Meg Jones. Jasmine Joyce has ended up out on the other wing, and Bessie once again is going to catch her. Is Jasmine Joyce lost pace, or is Fiji just that quick? It's going to be another penalty. She takes the quick tap. Okay, Jasmine Joyce slides in for the try this time. She does manage to get over the line, although they're going to be checking it out just in case. And typical Fijiana rocks and diamonds in their playing style, just needing to think a little more like the Mina, says Sammy Souza. And also, are you doing sevens when you come back? That is the plan. I'm not too sure what time I'll be back. Depends on, I guess, whether we bat or bowl first. I think, what year did you play for that rugby team? Maybe like, how old am I? Maybe like 2007, 2008, 9, somewhere around there, I guess. You mean Isaac? Isaac? No, not Isaac. Isaac, that is where it can also be confusing, but a different Isaac. So Isaac in the team who plays cricket rather than Isaac who's one of the Kiwi lads in Christchurch. And who was the lady in cricket video? Is she a player? She is a player. She plays for our side, and she is actually the mother of one of the guys who were batting in the umpiring video. So about 9 of our team is related, not to each other, but just related to at least one other person in this side, which is where, you know, with Waimeti getting that kind of inbred stereotype, doesn't look good. But no, we're not all related, just like individual. Like we've got a father-son duo, and also I tie into that because that's my uncle and my cousin. Then we've got another father-son team. Then we've got a mother-son team. And then we've also got another father-son who sometimes play, but normally just the son. I think that's everyone in our team. Wait, I think my cousin was in that game. Wait, your cousin was in that game. Who's your cousin, Tracy? So I might be able to tell you. If you say the name of one of the people who wouldn't pass the ball, I would laugh my head off. A line out throw now for Great Britain. Going in deep. Nicely stolen by Fijiana. And they're going to have another crack. They've got to go out wide. It's nicely taken, but the pass was slightly behind it. Made it relatively tricky. Well, I think that was possibly Solokoviti there. Rush defense from Jasmine Joyce. Looking for the offload. It's going to be bouncing awkwardly. But Kavuru takes it nicely. Thinks about the overlap. She slips a little bit. That could have been a perfect opportunity for Fiji to get back into this contest. If they can get themselves a converter try, they will win this game. Solokoviti, once again, her hands let her down. In fact, that time it was Tale Wilson. Unfortunately, just looking a little bit rough out there on the field at the moment for Wilson. Jasmine Joyce wrestled to the turf. 1 minute 15 left at the moment here. And only another 20 seconds of Bessie's yellow card. It's going to be the penalty to Fiji. Stick weather not looking too good. And really, Tracy, says David. And there as well. Now it is going to be going off to the left-hand side for the Fijians. Down the wing here. Great step. Looking for the offload opportunity. Wasn't quite opening up. Only met him once, but he plays for the Highlanders. Okay, well, I don't think that was him then. Unless you're talking about James Ascot. He's probably the only slightly local-ish boy, but he was kind of up the road a little bit. Now, off to the right-hand side, Great Britain driving hard at the line again. Can Fiji seal this one right at the end, or will it be Great Britain with their 5-point lead? He's that wing. Okay, well, then it wasn't him. That's going to be up the middle. Emma Uren scores it, and that will be the win for Great Britain right at the end of the game. And Ozahiki helped them towards the game, says Mark. And there as well. You talking Jonah Nariki? No. Who are the Highlanders wingers? Conagard and Bishop? Who else have they got? They've signed a few new ones recently. Scott Gregory? No, I didn't play up against any of those guys, though. It's the only thing. Emma Uren does beautifully to be able to score that try. And the Fijians should be winning this one. Oh, sorry, Great Britain should be winning this one. 17 points to 5. Hamish, how are you, mate? Says striking down. I'm doing very well, mate. It is good to see you. Once again, we are going to be doing some BBL later on tonight with George, who knows almost zero information about cricket. So he will be very confused, but he should also enjoy it more than test match cricket because at least they'll be smacking that ball hard and he'll kind of understand what's going on. Well done, GB. Good commentary, Hamish, says David the Mob. Appreciate you, mate. I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier on, we have got the cricket match taking place tomorrow. I will once again get the GoPro out, charge it all up, have it all ready to go. Hopefully bat it more than a strike rate of 15, like I did in the last match. He's left wing, says Tracy. So he's not Jonah Nariki, and he's not maybe Vilamoni Koroi. He's another one that they've had. Who else are they had on the left wing side in the season? Hi, Brandon. Hi, trucking down under. Says David the Mod there, and g'day, Brandon. And do those Timaru boys play cricket as professional or not? No, they're a high school team. So they all go to school, but like, yeah. So they're all still at school, but there's some decent cricketers in there. I can see potential in some of them. Like one of the guys got about 92 runs. He probably has a decent chance. He's actually their wicket keeper, and I don't know his name. Says Tracy. He told me played for it. Says Tracy. There as well. And also we have got there when he came up last year. Says Tracy. Interesting. I don't know whether or not it would have been in my year, but yeah, I don't know of too many Waimea players who have gone on to do great things. And those Timaru boys are good players, could see it. Says David the Mod there. So yeah, the game tomorrow, we're actually going head-to-head up against Twizel. Now, Twizel are the side that not just beat us last time, but they actually won the competition. So they're going to be a tough beat. They bowl line and length outside of off stump and get that ball to seam rather than swing. And I think the big difference is Timaru boys, they got it to swing. Twizel can get it to seam. And they've got some reasonable bowlers. They're actually the first game that I came back into my cricketing career with. I guess you could say that game that I got 10, but it's going to be a tough game. I kind of hope to an extent that we do end up bowling first because there's always that risk that our side could get bowled out in about 15 overs. Hopefully not. Hopefully we bat the full 40, but you just never know. If they're getting it like they did in that other game, she might be a tough game. And either he's Kaka or he's legit, says Tracy. Well, it seems very specific to pick Waimea as a side that he's played for. Because, like I said, we haven't really seen too many Waimos go on to the big wide world of rugby that I can think of off the top of my head. I know we've got a couple from South Canterbury. Like Theo Davidson, Miles Medlicott, now the head rugby coach for the senior team at Waimea. Fun fact. And first one, when you got 10, yesh, says Brandon. Yeah, I like double figures. And this next one, who plays best in your cricket team, says Coding. Ooh, that's a good question. I'd probably go Murray. Muzzer, as you guys will know him as. Mainly because, like, he's just got that veteran prowess about him. You know? He knows what he's doing. He got a wicket in the game up against Timaru boys. Also got himself a 50. So he's just got that wisdom on his head. He used to actually play on my dad's cricket team, which is kind of cool. The fact that last time he saw me, I was probably about this tall. And now Oh, I don't know how tall I am compared to what I'm sitting at now. And tell Twizel there's an ex-murderer in the Waimate side who hates losing and see what happens, says David the Mod. I mean, it's a decent tactic. We might get kicked out of the competition, maybe. But I'll keep it in mind if things aren't going well. Nice we get our Ezra, welcome in. Fiji to win this. The game, believe it or not, the game's actually over, but the scoreboard's very broken at the moment. What's your favourite Super Rugby team? I do quite like the Hurricanes just because of their kit. I enjoy the yellow, to be honest. I've realised that this is probably the longest I've hung around after a Sevens live stream before. So anyone wondering about what happened in the game, it was 17 points to 5 in favour of Great Britain. They were able to get themselves the victory. The last minute try of Emma Uren, but not the start that the Fijians would have been after in their Sydney Sevens campaign. But yeah, so the live streams tomorrow, I believe, will be from about 6:30 onwards. My favourite player is Dylan Hartley because he punched someone. That's the spirit. He did, didn't he, Dylan Hartley? He's been in trouble a few times. We cover cricket after this, says Coding. So I believe the plan at the moment is the BBL at 9:15 p.m. tonight, but also the Sevens that we have got coming up. We've got Papua New Guinea versus New Zealand. That is at 3:05 p.m. We've got first men's match is at 4:20, and that will be the matchup between Samoa and Ireland. And then we've got a couple more men's matches as well. And Hamish, will you be doing more videos of your cricket matches? I thought it was pretty good, enjoyable to watch, and funny as that is the plan. So we've got a match tomorrow. It's raining currently, but that rain should be well and truly gone by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. And yeah, I've got my GoPro. I'm also looking at different camera options in terms of angles. So I mentioned earlier on about how we've done batting, we've done umpiring. There's a chance that I might have something lined up with our wicket keeper, possibly a wicket keeper cam for while I'm bowling, and also our other spinners are bowling as well, just so you can kind of see the ball rotating through the air, which, as you can see now, might be a bit of a struggle for me, but hopefully that heals up nicely by tomorrow. I should have caught the ball. Would have been a lot more effective than bending the finger the wrong way. We are up against Ireland, says Ezra there, or Castilian for the Irish. And it's because Tracy is interesting, says David the Mod in there as well. But yeah, so that is the plan. We're going to have the batting cam. We're going to have the wicket keeping cam, hopefully. And we're also going to have maybe some umpiring cam at some point throughout that match. And yeah, Twizel a tough side, so it will be quite enjoyable to watch how they get the ball to move off the seam and kind of the line and length that they go for. They are the defending champs. They're a good side. My favourite player is Rieko Ioane. You and Rugby Itch would get along quite well, Tracy. He absolutely loves Rieko Ioane. I remember a game when he was going to give Rieko Ioane man of the match when there were about 7 players better than Rieko Ioane. And it was on a post-match review that we were doing, and everyone in the chat just ripped into him, unfortunately. But he enjoyed it. He was firing back as well. And I don't know when Ireland starts. So Ireland plays Samoa at 4:20 for the men's side. But women's wise, I think they've got a game coming up in about maybe an hour and a bit, somewhere around there. Yeah, nonetheless, I think that is almost going to be the end of this one. I remember that, says David the Mod. Yeah, there were a few better choices out there, but Rieko Ioane, he's got a big spot in Tim's heart, doesn't he? Yeah, we will be back in 35 minutes for our next live stream, which is going to be New Zealand versus Papua New Guinea. I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you all for the next one.